going to create the heel flap now by continuing to knit in the direction that we've been going. You can see that I've just finished my last purl round. I've done the wrap and turn, and now what we're going to do is start knitting on the other side to create the heel flap. Don't worry about these tangled threads. We're going to cut some of those and knit those in, so that'll make it a little bit less jumbly. But we're going to start off by tucking the end of the short circular into the sock. Make sure that you don't catch your previous working yarn underneath the needle, as you're going to need that to be able to tuck the new working yarn around so that you don't get a hole. And then you need to choose your colour for working the heel flap. I'm going to use this blue colour here, and I'm going to work the heel flap on double pointed needles. I'm tucking the end of the working yarn underneath the previous working yarn so I don't get a hole. I'm going to knit the first stitch, knit the second stitch. I'm tucking the end of the yarn in here just so that it will anchor it. And then I'm going to slip the next stitch purlwise, bring the yarn to the front of the sock, and I'm going to purl the next stitch, take the yarn to the back, slip the next stitch purlwise, purl, take the yarn back, slip the stitch purlwise, bring it forward and purl, and I'm going to do that until I've got 30 stitches, because that's half the number that I've used to cast on. And don't worry about these yarns that are here, because we're just going to weave these in as we go along the heel flap. When you get to the point where you want to weave one of the ends in, then just treat it exactly as you did do earlier on. So bring the yarn up and over the working yarn as you need to, just to anchor it in. If you don't want to do it all the way along, then that's absolutely fine. You can just do it for a few stitches so that you don't get a hole, and then you can always weave it in later on when you come to do your finishing off, and that will work absolutely fine. When you reach the last 2 stitches of the heel flap, you're going to slip the first one and then knit the second one. Don't purl it this time, and that will finish off your heel flap so that you'll have a big stitch when you're picking up your gusset stitches later. Tuck the end of your circular needle into your sock and then turn the work around so that you're ready to purl back along the rows. You're going to, now remember this is ribbed heel stitch, so it's not quite the same as normal heel stitch. You're going to slip the first stitch and then you're going to work in rib. So purl the first stitch and then knit the next stitch, purl the next stitch and then knit, and you're going to purl and knit all the way along this row until you get to the last 3 stitches, and then you're going to do something slightly different. With these last 3 stitches here, you're going to purl all 3 of them, and again that will give you the edge that you need to pick up the stitches when it comes to the gusset. Turn your work around so that you're ready to work back on the right side of the heel flap. You can see that the rib ridges are appearing already, and what you're going to do this time, you're going to slip the first stitch. You'll notice that I've slipped it knitwise, but it really doesn't matter with the heel flap for a sock. And then you're going to continue along this row with the purl and slip stitches, just as you did for row 1. And that's all you need to do to create your heel flap. Remember to work as long as you need it for your heel, not for the number of rows that I might have said on the pattern, and that's what's important.